Hello and welcome to the Not the Old Firm YouTube channel. My name is Ben Banks. Today's video, just a quick recap on the European fixtures that took place midweek for the Not the Old Firm teams in Europe. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel like this video. I've had a decent intake in subscribers this week. It is much appreciated. We are striving for that 1,000 mark. Hopefully it's a bit closer now. I feel like I can say with some degree of certainty we might actually hit it. One of these days, at least in the next few months anyway. So if you do want to help us with that, please do hit the subscribe button. It does mean a lot and it is really appreciated. We'll move straight on to the football. There is plenty to get through in the sort of short time I've got. St Johnstone played Galatasaray in Istanbul in the Europa League third qualifying round, while Hibs and Aberdeen were taking part in the UEFA Europa Conference League third qualifying round. Hibs playing Rijeka at Easter Road, and Aberdeen were in Iceland to take on Breidablik. Start with St Johnstone. We'll move through in terms of kick-off time. St Johnstone started at 7, Hibs 7:45, Hibs Aberdeen 8 o'clock. So we'll start with St Johnstone. Probably the headline result, a 1-1 draw with the Turkish giants Galatasaray. And to be honest, they were unlucky not to win the game, which is quite startling. I don't think anybody really gave St Johnstone a chance. We should know by now not to write off this St Johnstone team. Don't think the impossible. We should probably phrase that a bit better if I can actually speak. The impossible is very much possible these days for St Johnstone. An absolutely heroic effort to get the draw, and they could have got the victory. Muslera, the experienced Uruguayan goalkeeper for Galatasaray, error in the box, Chris Kane making his way through, completely taken out, red card, and Jason Kerr stepped up to score at a second half penalty. Sasha Boy went up the other end, linked with Celtic, perhaps ironically this summer, pretty much straight up the other end. Rhys Devine on his second competitive appearance in football, some start for him. And yeah, couldn't be any more than an inch away from taking the ball off his toe, but it got past him and just placed it in the bottom corner. So that was a bit of a blow just a couple of minutes after scoring, but St Johnstone did themselves absolutely no harm over there. A credit to Scottish football, credit to themselves again. And drawing with a team like Galatasaray for St Johnstone is just crazy stuff. I did post a tweet after it, this time, I think, last year. Callum Davidson was preparing for the second game in management, and now 12 months on, he's guided St Johnstone to a draw against Galatasaray, and he's won 2 trophies. It's incredible. And if St Johnstone managed to get this over the line, you would not write them off. I think they will still be massive underdogs. I think there might be, at least in the play-out, still an amazing result. I should caveat that. But there will be some slight regret that they didn't win it, because they did have chances. Goalkeeper that came on as well made an absolute hash of a clearance, and Stevie May had the goal at his mercy and they managed to get it cleared off the line. Away goal rules have been scrapped this year, so Johnson probably feeling the brunt of that. If they went over back to penalty with an away goal and the tie still level, I would really be backing St Johnstone to get through this. I still think they'll be massive underdogs when it comes to Perth, but hopefully with the news this week of full houses coming back to Scottish football, you can have over 5. You can have, I think it's 5,000 without having to apply for permission for more from Monday. Celtic and Rangers have been granted capacity crowds for their ties in the Champions League and Europa League respectively, and as well as Aberdeen are also going to have a full house at Pittodrie for their second leg against Breidablik. So here's hoping St Johnstone get a full crowd, because St Johnstone fans have missed a lot more than other fans have in the last sort of year. They have missed the team beating, obviously winning the 2 cups, of course, but the full run up to that as well. Missing their team beating Rangers at Ibrox, these different types of things. They deserve to have a perhaps once in a generation game against a team like Galatasaray at Young Park. It deserves to be full house. That is what the team in Perth deserves. Moving on to the Hibs, they drew with Rijeka 1 each, and Jack Ross probably content with the draw. Hibs played really well. Probably should have won 3 or 4-1 if they managed to put their shooting boots on a wee bit, but still a very decent performance from them. Rijeka managed to nip in front, but Martin Boyle levelled things, and if Hibs had lost that, it would have been a complete tragedy. They deserve to win, never mind if they get beat. But I think Hibs showed that they're more than a match for Rijeka. Rijeka have given Aberdeen tough tests in recent qualifying campaigns in the Europa League, but I think Hibs showed that even going to Croatia next week, that if they perform the same and Rijeka perform at a similar level, then they're more than capable of getting a result over there. Martin Boyle looks really, really good. He's an incredible player, really, for Hibs. He's adding consistency to his game, which, that should be a feat, and that should have a lot of teams fearing coming up against him. And Jake Doherty looks like he's recapturing the form that he showed at St Mirren last season in the sort of first 6 months before injuries and all things started taking a toll. Kilmagennis as well, I know, just over the last couple of weeks from watching him, I've been really impressed with him as he comes back to fitness as well. So there's a bit of clarity in Josh Doyle's situation, of course. He was left out of the Mullow squad due to English clubs mounting interest in him. He was involved in the squad, albeit he didn't start. He was involved in the squad against Rijeka. It looks like interest perhaps has slightly died down a wee bit. Jack Ross basically saying clubs have talked the talk, but nobody has walked the walk yet. I'm paraphrasing a wee bit, but it was along those lines. So that'll be one to keep an eye on. I don't think Hibs will want that bubbling on for an amount of time, and I don't think it'll be too long before we see Josh Doyle back in Hibs squads and starting 11s again. And Aberdeen will move on to final. This was a game I covered elsewhere, and Rick Christian Ramirez for me is the talking point for this. Aberdeen were 2 goals ahead. Calvin Ramsey with 2 brilliant corners. First one straight off the training ground to Ramirez, the American international, putting away nicely. Lewis Ferguson's header for the second before they conceded 2 before half time. Really frantic first half, and then Christian Ramirez finished. A nice counter attack in the second half, just a massive lump up the park from Joe Lewis. Big route one. Conor Clem does well to bring it down into Ramirez and into the bottom corner of the ball line. I think he's got to be a real handful for teams across Scotland in the Premiership this season. I think that's his 4th goal for Aberdeen so far. And he looks like a real poacher's type striker, just always at the right place at the right time. Really good shot on him, and was really impressed by him again. I've watched Aberdeen's Aberdeen's Europa Conference League campaign so far, and I think they look decent. Under Stephen Glanster. Goals were the big problem last season, and they look to have sorted that. He wasn't afraid as well, Stephen Glanster, to make big changes when they were needed. He brought off J. Emmanuel Thomas forward for Declan Gallagher on the centre-back position. Completely changed the system when the game was getting very frantic, and it calmed the game right in Iceland. So I think Aberdeen were already slight favourites in this tie. I think now that they've got a 3-2-10 back to Phil Tawdry, I would expect Aberdeen to, hopefully for them, get it over the line. And I think they've got more. They've got the capabilities. They certainly do. So Calvin Ramsey as well for me. Don't want to put too much on him, but potential Scotland international. People talk about Nathan Patterson at 19. That is the successor to Stephen O'Donnell's right back thrown in Scotland's squad. Calvin Ramsey is a year younger, and he's got 3 assists, I think, in Europe for Aberdeen so far. He was excellent in the Dundee United game. He's been excellent in the European games. Really excited to see. He's only just turned 18. I'm older than him, which tells you all you need to know. And I think he could be a really exciting one to watch take play. Last year, he's perhaps in a similar position to Josh Doyle was this year. Perhaps not many externally knew about him, but internally at Aberdeen, there's obviously going to be a lot of high hopes from someone like Hibs and Josh Doyle. I think he could have a similar type breakthrough season in that wing back, right back role for Aberdeen. I'm really excited to see how he gets on throughout this season. But that's all we get time for on this. We hope you have enjoyed. We'll be back on Monday with a review of St Mirren versus Hearts. And then during the week as well, we'll have reviews of the European games. We'll hopefully have a preview of a Premiership game, or it's the League Cup next week, Premier Sports Cup round of 16. We'll hopefully have a preview to a game in that, and then a review as well. Probably, as it stands now, probably of Dundee Mullow, but we'll have more on that next week. As well as that, we'll also have 2 exclusive interviews as well, so do keep your eye out for them. Should also mention as well, we spoke to Declan McManus, former Dunfermline striker, moved to the New Saints in Wales. This week before their tie against Victoria Pleasant, only went and scored a hat-trick, so big well done to Declan McManus. That piece is still on our website, still relevant stuff in it on his exit from Dunfermline, so do check that out. If I haven't mentioned it once, I'll mention it again. Please do remember to subscribe. It does help us out a considerable amount. And until next time, take it easy.